Hello everybody and welcome to Igor's Japanese Language Dojo, the BLITZ series in which I cover a single unit of Japanese grammar in record time. Today I will be talking about a construct with which we can say that a certain action has been attempted, that we have tried to do something, that we have put an effort into it, but that action has never happened or has been prevented from happening. So without further ado, let's see this construct in detail. So, this volitional plus Toshita construct has the following message essentially embedded into it. And this construct says, or basically is used to express the effort that the speaker has put into an action that has ended in failure or was prevented from happening. It can even refer to an action that has never happened. The second thing that you need to remember is that it exclusively uses the volitional form of the verbs. In case you are still struggling with the forming of various verb forms, I will put a link to a video in which I have explained that in detail in the description box below, and you will see it in the card thing in the upper right corner of the video. And finally, we must note that the construct has ra, ga, and keredo added to toshita to complete the meaning of the construct. So basically, what can we conclude from this? We can conclude that this construct is relatively complicated because it first needs to contain the volitional form of the verb, that is, using this construct. After that, we need to attach toshita to it, and finally, after toshita directly, we need to attach one of these three to complete the meaning of the construct. So depending on the situation, you want to add ra, ga, or keredo, depending, of course, on the sentence and what are you trying to say. So for now, let's remember that this construct carries with itself the meaning of a certain invested effort into an action that has failed or was prevented, or maybe it has not even happened, that it uses the volitional form of the verbs, and that it has three potential suffixes. And with this out of the way, let's see this construct in action in our examples in the next section of the video. Now let's see the usage of this construct in action. Our first example goes as follows. 日本の新聞を読もうとしたが、わからない漢字が多かった。I tried to read a Japanese newspaper, but there were many kanji that I did not understand. So here, let's first establish which action has been foiled, which action has failed to execute. And that is the action of, or to be more precise, our attempt to read a Japanese newspaper. And that is why we are modifying the verb yomu, meaning to read, here to be adoptive of our construct, to welcome our construct. And first we have formed the volitional stem by changing the final mu to mo. After that, we have lengthened the stem with a u to create the volitional form, and finally we have attached toshita to it with an appropriate suffix, and in this case it is ga. Thus we have received this sentence saying that we have put our effort into reading a newspaper, but that action has not succeeded despite our efforts to do so. So once again, first form the volitional stem, after that lengthen it to get the volitional form, add toshita and a suffix of your choosing. Now our second example goes as follows. 柔道大会に入ろうとしたが、私の申し込みが断られてしまった。I tried to enter the judo tournament, but my application was declined. So once again, what is the action here that has failed? Well, that action is our entering the judo tournament, and that is why we are modifying the verb hairu here. And we are changing the final ru to ro to get the volitional stem. After that, we are lengthening it with a u, then adding toshita with a suffix. So once again, the procedure is the same. Our third example is like this. ビデオを録画 しようとしたら私の携帯が鳴りました。My cell phone rang when I tried to record the video. Now, this is something I relate to on a personal level because it happened to me more than once. However, here we see that instead of the suffix ga, we are using ra here. And that is because I'm giving a time reference point, and that is precisely the when part in the translation, because here ra gives that meaning to our sentence. So once again, the action that has been foiled here is my process of recording the video, and that is why we are modifying the verb suru here by removing the final ru and adding yo. After that we have toshita, and finally the suffix of our choosing, and that is ra here. With that out of the way, we are moving to our final example, and it goes as follows. Kobayashi-san ni tetsudao to shita keredo maniawanakatta. As you can see here, we have tried to help Mr. Kobayashi. Although we have tried to help Mr. Kobayashi, we couldn't make it in time. Now, as you can see here, we have used keredo here in order to get the meaning of although in the sentence, but all the things we have done previously are the same. We are changing here the final kana to the volitional stem, after that creating the volitional form, adding toshita, and after that the suffix of our choosing. So there you have it. These are the most representative examples of this construct in action, and it follows the basic principle of first creating the volitional stem out of the verb we are choosing to use. After that we are lengthening it in order to get the volitional form. After that we are adding toshita, and finally the suffix of our choosing that depends on the sentence which we want to say. So whether if we are using it to give it the meaning of but, then we are using ga, or we want to say when we try to do something, then we use ra, and finally although or though we are using keredo. So that's pretty much it. Now let's deliver the finishing blow to our lesson today. So what we have learned about this construct of volitional plus toshita plus suffix is that it expresses the effort behind an action that has been prevented from happening, or failed, or not even executed at all. After that, the keywords for this construct is effort and the volitional form of the verbs that it uses when we are creating it. And finally, this construct can have three suffixes: ra with the meaning of when, ga with the meaning of but, and finally keredo with the meaning of although. So when you master all of these 3 points regarding the volitional plus toshita plus suffix construct, you can start using it with even more confidence, and it can also prove to be quite flexible, especially in your spoken Japanese. So I recommend practicing it with a lot of examples, and before you know it, you will be able to use it effectively. Otsukare-sama deshita, my dear Shokun. Thank you for watching this episode of my BLITZ series regarding a specific construct that I'm quite sure can be really useful to you in your daily usage of Japanese, or your practice and learning of the Japanese language. So if you have any comments, or if you like my content, or if you want to see something covered in the future BLITZ episodes, don't hesitate to leave your comment down below. So I hope to see you again next time in the dojo, and thank you for watching. Sayonara!